Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another series of Winning Mondays. I want to welcome all of you who are watching us on live on Facebook, and also those who join us on the Zoom session as well this morning. And this morning we have you will see a very different setting, because now we have I have a co-host here, William. Let's say hi to William. And we have our special guest speaker today, George. Okay. Today is very special and it's very different, because we are moving into a new series called Ready for 2025. Are you ready for 2025? Now, I just asked a simple questions to William just now. How many days are we before we end 2024? 57 days, according to like today's time frame. So if you Google online, it will be like 59 days. Then William told me that it's not correct. No, 58 days is not correct, because that's according to the US time zone. So in Malaysia, we are now 57 days. 57 days towards before we end 2024. How many of us are actually ready for 2025? Right? According to some of the statistics, it says, right, agents who set clear goals and align to their priorities are 42% more likely to achieve success than those who don't. And in Keller Williams network, agents who use GPS report a 30% increase in productivity on average. Now think of this GPS. Why is this so important as we kickstart the sessions for Ready for 2025? Last week we have I Ching who spoke to us about the market trend. Why is it important for us to dive deep into knowing the situations of the country, and where you actually want to dive into which market segment that you actually want to go in. Understanding the entire market situation is so important. Thanks to William, we actually brought this up that before the GPS session, it's important for us to really understand the market first. Yeah, and now today we have Josh to come and share with us this framework used by Keller Williams on GPS, where it stands for goals, priorities, and strategies. So thank you, Josh. Thank you for joining us in this show. All right. My first question for Josh this morning is what is the core principle behind the GPS framework, and why is it essential for real estate agent?
Yeah, I've been doing GPS for almost the last 3 to 4 years now. So GPS basically stands for goals, priorities, and strategies, basically as what the class mentioned. Another name for it is basically 135. That means 1 goal, 3 priorities, and then 5 strategies. Now, the question today is basically, if you are lost, do you need a GPS? So I went for a friend's wedding basically in KL, the KL this weekend one. And on the way back one, basically KL have changed a lot. So I cannot recognize the landscape, but I trust my GPS, my ways to allow me to go in and get to my final destination. So the key is that a GPS need to be something that gives you the true north. Today, if you're lost, then basically your GPS need to provide certain direction. And I believe for agents, all of us are business owners, and they say business basically fail because of 2 reasons. One is basically lack of funding, and for us basically for agents that's not a problem, because we don't invest we don't need a lot of capital to invest in real estate. The second one is lack of detailed planning. So I feel like GPS is clear because it gives us a very clear true north, what we need to do this year in order to reach our goal.
Yeah, having the clarity in life is very, very important. Yeah. And I definitely get lost if I don't have GPS, especially in the car driving. What about you, William? What's your thoughts on this?
Well, the GPS is it's a simple plan. You don't have to do a very extensive kind of 25 pages or 30 pages of business plan to get your business going. So Gary Keller came out with this GPS as a 1-page plan to make it simple for agents, so that they can put everything down. Because he says when people finish their business plan, 25 pages, 30 pages, and then they take a look at it, they read through, sit down with all the staff and read through it, and then after that they put it on the shelf. Never look at it again. Maybe 6 months later, when they do mid-year review, they take it out. So he says there's no relationship with the plan over the months and the weeks leading to the mid-year. So this GPS is something that you need to take it out and look at it and allow it to guide you and help you to be more focused in your daily, weekly, and monthly activities in your business.
Yes, good thing to mention that, William, because the GPS basically gives you the big picture. And then basically he mentioned the fact that you need to go down to a weekly and daily. That one is what we call 411. So if you have a GPS, it gives you a bigger picture. And then the 411, it tells you exactly what you need to do on a daily, weekly basis. Then generally that's where you can go. Most of us have a plan, but we don't know what to do today.
Yeah.
So hopefully today we'll have an idea that you have a plan, but you know exactly where to start today. And doing those things will actually align you to reaching your goal.
Yeah, for those of you who are joining us on Facebook Live and also on the Zoom session, feel free to ask us any questions, so that our speaker today will share with you exactly how you can actually set your own goal. If you have any question you've been setting goal for the past many years and you're still unable to achieve it, there must be some steps that's not done correctly or the execution parts are not done. So today I want George to actually share with us how can one set their goal now. Like I'm moving towards, I don't want to look at 2024 anymore. It's like there's another 57 days. Okay, if I'm planning for 2025, what is the first step that I need to sit down and do if I want to plan my goal for 2025?
Yeah, which means right now we have how many days in 2025? 57?
57 days, 57, 58 days.
So let's say 60 days, let's say 60 days in a row. Within the next basically 57, 60 days, you must figure out basically what you need to do to align yourself to what you need to do in 2025. So when you go into 2025, 1st January, you're actually doing exactly what you need to get started. Most of us today is on what I call, we are slowly declining the momentum. We are waiting for year end and then January come and then start building it up. So I'm encouraging to go backwards now that to whatever you see happen in 1st January 2025, you need to start doing it today already. So if you start doing it today, you have a 2 months almost head start compared to a lot of agents that are starting in January. So maybe I'll share some slides to help you.
Please go ahead.
From there, we can dialogue a little bit more. If you have questions, feel free to ask, and then we'll try to also answer them. Is it on already? Okay.
Yes.
Can you see my slide?
Yeah.
Now, I like this one, the 2 quotes here. One basically is by Jim Stowell, the other one is by Gary Keller. Now, Jim Stowell says this: we don't fail because we don't know what to do. Now, if you're in real estate for more than 3 years, you know what to do already. You fail because you don't do what you know. So very simple. Basically, most of us know enough to be able to get us to be successful. The key is that are we doing what we actually know? So today, I'm not giving you something that's new. I'm saying go back and revisit what I'm sharing with you and look at what you have. And maybe from there, focus down on a few things you need to do so that you can realign to be successful. Now, the second thing, basically, Gary Keller says this. This is from the MREA, basically the Red Book. Your approach and your ability and your willingness to do the work of the real estate sales will be the greatest determining factor for your success. So your success today is not basically what we teach you today. It's your willingness to work hard. So if you actually put in the effort, the question is that, are you able to get the outcome? So today, most agents are not successful, I believe, because they basically don't put in the right effort to do that. Okay, so I like it because this one is just the word willingness. Are you willing to put in the work in 2025 in order to see the result that you want? Easy to set the goal, but question is, are you willing to do and work hard in order to make the goal realized?
Amazing quote. These two, we just summarize the whole things, right? Either you don't do what we need, we already know what is it, but we just don't do enough. And the second is like, are we willing to put in the effort?
Correct, yeah. And if you go in and look at Jim Stowell, he was an Olympic basically weightlifter, and then through a process, he got blind. And a person that's blind is able to do a lot more than what we do today with eyesight. So just Google that. But the other one I'll show you is this. The next picture here talks about the effort that's put in. And I like the way that they present this one here. And here one basically today, all of us want in 2025 to have a predictable income. So if you want a predictable income, consistent income, you need to start with the first one, predictable effort. If you put in 3 hours of lead generation time, you will actually produce basically leads. And from there, if you have enough leads, it will give you to have outcome, which is close business, eventually profit come in. The key is basically the predictable effort of lead generation for 3 hours. Basically, it's boredom. It's very routine and very boring. That's why most of us don't consistently do that. But the success that you're building, the success habit, which is lead generation, you're consistent in doing those things that are boring and routine. Eventually, you connect the effort. By doing those things consistently, it will give you the result that you want. So the question today, basically, what is your result? You want to achieve 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 500,000, or 1 million. It doesn't matter. Whatever result that you have, basically can be achieved today. You just need to know a goal that you want, and then you start working backwards. Most of us look forward, but we actually don't look backwards to figure out how to actually achieve it. And I'll share with you basically the goal setting to now, shortly later, on how you can take a goal and then move backwards. The other one that I like this slide here is talk about the fact that, and this one, if you have attended Ignite, all these slides are the Ignite training one, it talks about the fact today, the difference between a top producer and an average producer. Top producer basically want to have steady lead generation. That means they do lead generation, whether you put in 1 hour, the 1.5 hours or 3 hours, is very consistent every day. Because the lead generation is consistent, the closing deal eventually be gradual, eventually, very suddenly, you'll go up. But the average producer today, we go through a cycle that we lead generate, but it's inconsistent. We sometimes do a lot, sometimes we slow down, and then it's like cycle. Because it's inconsistent, that's why our closing is also consistent. So today, basically, if you just have a way that you are consistently generating, your closing will also improve. So again, these two slides, I like it because it shows that if you put effort and you're consistent in doing a few things correctly, the result will come. Now, any questions that you have based on just the 3 slides that I shared? Before I go into explain what exactly is goal setting and GPS.
Yep. William, anything for you?
Well, the point here, George is trying to stress is consistency, and consistency on what, on the most productive things that you can, that is important to your business. So we practice 80-20, where we want to focus on the most important thing. And so George rightly pointed out, the most important thing here in your business is where I say is lead generation. If you are consistently doing lead generation, then your results and closing will be consistent.
Yeah, there's this quote says, right, success is boring.
Yeah.
Right, it's boring because we have to repeatedly do the things over again and again and again, right? Because that actually build the habit. And this, I like this, where this line says steady lead generations. Real estate is a contact sport until and unless we have this consistency in lead generations, the closing of the business, we will not be able to expect it to come easily. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like what William mentioned. Also, the fact is correct because the key is understanding priorities. Top producers focus on not just activities, but the priority activities they need to do that. And rightly so, the 20% of the right activities, and lead generation is one of them, will produce 80% of the result. So today, if you're not achieving a result, doing a lot of work, then you must question, are you doing the 20% or the 80%? Because the same way that 20% of your effort produces 80% of result, 80% effort today produces 20% of your result, means that basically you've got it lopsided. You're not doing the most important things today. Now, this one, I like the way that Gary Keller summarized basically goal setting. 2025, I'm not asking you to come up with a new goal. I'm asking you to look at this statement. Annual goal setting should not be what's my goal this year. It should be where am I on the path to my end goal. We are on a journey today, basically. You know where you're at, so you need to know where you're at, what has actually happened, and then decide in 2025, are you on track to achieve that goal? Most of us basically want to go in within, basically, I'll say, easily within a month or 2 months, we will ignore our goals, because we felt like the goals are not achievable, we don't do that. So I'm not asking to come in a new goal. Look at the 2024 goals and say basically where are you at today, at 2024? If your goal is going to be 200,000, are you achieving 50,000? Are you achieving 100,000? Are you 50% on track? Or you have surpasses that and doing 300,000. So based on that, you can realign that to your 2025. So where are you on the path to your end goal? Rather than basically setting a new goal for 2025. I want to encourage you to also not just look at business goals, but look at basically your life as a whole. Now, this one is not something that you like biggest regret of those dying people. And it says that when people are dying, these are 5 regrets that I have. The first is I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. Many times we are doing things because our parents want us to do that, rather than really what I want. Now really go back and re-examine what is it that you want to do in your life, not just in 2025. I wish I had not worked so hard. I wish I had the courage to express my feelings and tell people basically how I feel. I wish I would stay in touch with my friends. And the last one is I wish I've let myself to be happier. So look at it, say in totality, basically before you die, looking backwards, what is it that you want to achieve? Because if you have a big goal, then the money you earn needs to be a lot more to support that. Rather than looking at a business goal, looking at a life, there's your someday what you want to do and then looking backwards. So I want to share this because Many times, basically, we live a life that when they die, the time they regret.
Yeah, that then brings to mind, Gary Keller always asks, what's your big why?
Correct.
What's your big why in the business? So in Unite, we get people to sit down, write down their big whys. Why are they in the real estate business? What's it for? That's one way to start off if you don't want to have any regrets.
So it's like, I mean, like, it's just so much to reflect upon, right? There's so much regret in life. Not you don't talk about like whether we have passed on or not, but we talk about even the life that we're living right now. If you look back, that there's so much regret. Those things that we wanted to do, we didn't do, right? Things that the amount of income that we wanted to achieve, that we didn't achieve it. It's like, I think 2025 is something is way where we can reset it and look forward to see that, hey, how much more can I put in the effort to do what is required to achieve the goal that I've always wanted, but yet to be able to achieve it.
Correct. Yeah, like a lot of agents wanted to be financially free, and after 10 years, you are still, not free yet. So I think it's because we are not thinking big enough. So I challenge you to think big, but at the same time, from there, go backwards and figure out how to achieve that. Now, this one basically is 7 circles of your life. In fact, it can be reduced to 4. Basically, the first one, your spiritual, your health, your personal, and relationships, all talks about personal. So if I divide into 2 categories, I'll say health is important, and basically your personal, your spiritual, and your relationships is important. And the other one is your job and business, lump it together as a business, and then finances or wealth or money. So generally, you need 4 categories: your health, your personal, basically your business, and your finances. In those 4 areas, we need to think through what is the one thing I can do such that by doing that, everything else becomes easier and unnecessary. So basically, it's just not about business, but it's business, your personal, your health, and then your finances. Four of these 7 categories, how are you actually doing, and have a goal in each one of this category. But today, for time's sake we are zooming in on business. How can you basically do well in business? And allow me to get it as business and job, because if you are running a team, then you have a job they are doing, but you're also running a business as a team. But if you're a solo agent or single agent, generally you can lump business and job together as one to work through that. So I encourage you to think through that in totality, holistically. These are things that are important in your life. Just don't focus on your business. The purpose of business is to earn enough money to fund the rest of it. So if you have to travel to Europe, it could easily cost, at least to me, if you take a family, easily 50,000. So if your goal is that if you want to go in and take your family for a trip in 3 years' time, you must basically have the money, 50,000, in order to travel.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's nice to say that, but you have to have a plan to earn that.
And the business or the job is basically the vehicle for us to actually achieve.
Achieve all that, yeah. And I don't want you to basically work so hard and eventually when you achieve your goal, your basically health suffers. Then it doesn't matter. Then again, you can enjoy what you have. It has to be a balance in that sense. This one is how to identify your lead domino every day. Now, the lead domino today, the key today is that extraordinary success is not sequential. It's sequential, but not simultaneously. For example, today, if you go bowling yourself, bowling basically there are 10 pins. The question is basically how do you hit all 10 pins? Lining up all 10 pins in one line, or putting the whole thing basically in a triangle. So in bowling, we basically go in and say, imagine if the pins are all lined up 10 and you try to hit all 10, it's almost impossible.
Yes, almost impossible.
Simultaneously 10 things now. But if you hit the first pin correctly, the first pin will go in and hit the rest of the pin.
This is like the domino effect.
Correct. So the idea is how do you identify the first leading domino that's easy to do that will cause effect on the other ones. We call it the 1-inch domino, or the first domino is just a 2-inch domino. If you look at this chart, it talks about the 2-inch domino, and then the 18 basically the 18-inch there, number one, the 18 domino is basically, if you do that one, the domino can topple something as high as the Eiffel. This is the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Eiffel Tower is the number 25 dominoes. If it's going to be the 31st domino, it can topple something as high as 3,000 feet above Mount Everest. If you continue the domino effect one, eventually, if it goes into the 57th domino, it can actually topple something from the Earth all the way up to the moon. So the idea is the fact that you start with something that's simple. Eventually, the first one will topple the second one, the third one, the fourth one. And physics says basically the first spin can topple something twice its size or double its energy. So if you go through, the idea is to identify the first pin so that you go to the next one. Sequential, not simultaneously, one at a time. First one, top of the second one, top of the third one, and the fourth one. But most of us today want to go in straight to the 25th pin. I want to go in and achieve 100,000.
I don't want to wait. I want to go straight to 31 now.
You want 31, so can. Only a few people will do that, but most of us will give up.
But what's the ability to identify the first domino? I think is important. So if you put the context back to the business now, so how would that look like?
Correct. So the key to us is for you to really realize in goal setting one, it's not doing a lot, but it's figuring out basically where you want to go, but learn to identify those things that are important. The first few dominoes that's easy to do, so you can achieve your goal. So again, I want to share this because this is very key. Now, this is another picture the same. It talks about your 5-year goal, your 1-year goal, 1-month goal, and then the base on down weekly. So this one is talking about number one, basically is your 5-year goal. The second one talks about based on my 5-year goal, what is the one thing I can do this year to be on track to my 5-year goal? Based on my yearly goal, what is the one thing I can do this month to be on track for my 5-year goal, to be on track for my eventually someday goal? Based on my monthly goal, what is the one thing I can do this week so that I'm on track with my yearly goal, on track with my 5-year goal? And the last one is based on my weekly goal, what is the one thing I can do today? By doing what I'm doing today, I'll be on track to reach my monthly goal, yearly goal, and then 5-year goal. So it's talking about something that's big and bringing it down to something I can do today.
Well, if you put it in the context of as a real estate agent, so how would my goal settings going to look like? Okay,
now the next slide will help you to do that one. Okay, maybe just for sake of understanding success, success comes down to being appropriate in the moment of your life. Now today, basically, am I convinced that by being online, teaching about GPS is the best use of my time today? Because by doing this one here, I can actually go in and help more agents become successful in 2025. That is part of my goals, to actually coach and help people become successful. So I must be convinced that what I'm doing today makes a difference down the road. But based on the question one, I want to just go in and introduce this number. Most of us will talk about GPS, but we cannot remember. Today, I want you to remember this lottery number, 5321. If you buy this number, 5321, you achieve 200,000 in 2025. How many of you believe me? You say only, but 5321. This is the weekly KPI. If I do this every week, 50 conversations every week, 10 per day, and the goal is by making 50 calls, I want to set 3 appointments. And by setting 3 appointments, I want to get 2 listings, and then I want to get 1 closing.
So this is on a weekly basis, right?
Question is for agents today, are you able to do that? Are you willing to do that? It's very down to the fact that today I say I'm not successful, but question is, are you making a 50 calls this week? It's your first domino. If you don't make the 50 calls, you won't get the 3 appointments. If you don't go to appointments, you won't get any listings. And then eventually this month, you'll have no closing. So most of us want closing. But we are saying, why not closing, no listing? Why no listing, no appointments? Why no appointments? Too busy. Busy to do what? Just busy. So idea is the fact we are identifying the key leading indicators. Very simple, 5321.
Yes, and these are like we talk about the 20% of the activities that we do that bring 80% of the results. So these are the top 20% of the activities.
Correct. These 4 things you cannot do. Of course, you can track basically your profit goal if you have your team performance, but generally it's the agent one. These are the 4 key performance index that's very important. Conversations, appointments, listings, and closing. This is something similar to Ignite also, right? Ignite also have the daily success habits.
Your daily success habit starts with 10 conversations a day. Well, this is
very close. Like 10 conversations a day. If you talk about 5 days, 50 conversations. Yeah.
So that's why the saying goes, success is done on daily basis.
Yeah, that's the key word. Success is done on daily basis. It's always daily. Yeah. What do we do on a day-to-day basis, not week-on-week basis, right? If we measure what we treasure, I think it's very important. If we want the success, that we need to definitely measure it. Yeah,
correct. And it's about progress and not perfection. Now, let me give you another example. What happens if you really focus on doing 3 appointments every day? Now, if you do 3 appointments every day, there's going to be 12 appointments in a month. Now, let's assume basically, based on my case one, for every 6 appointments, I can get 1 conversion. Now, based on the MRA book one, these are people that you met. Conversion is basically 12 to 2 or 6 to 1. People, if you don't know one, then conversion is higher, 50-1. So I'm using that. These are people that I know. In my daily basis, I call them. For 12 appointments, I set one, I get 2 closing.
Wow.
Now I also realize that every closing I go in one, average deal is about 8,000.
So this is the actual scenario.
Actual scenario for myself. Okay, that means basically if I go in to close the deal, I can get 8,000, which is 16,000 per month. Now with this 16,000 times 12 months, by end of year one, I should get 200,000.
For sure.
For sure, right? That means by doing 3 appointments, 12 per month, conversion base for every 6 I convert 1 to closing. Every deal is 8,000. I get 16,000 per month. Then my goal is 200,000 can be achieved.
Yeah.
But by focusing on 3 appointments. Now, assuming I achieve 200,000, and I take basically what I call a 60-20-20. 60% profit, 20% expenses, 20% cost of sale. Which means 200,000, 60% profit. My basically the profit or income will be 120,000 per year. Divide by 12 is 10,000 per month. How do you feel if you get 10,000 every month? As an agent, will it be comfortable or not? Is it too much or too little?
So the agents on the calls right now, like give us a response, like how do you feel, when you get more than 10,000 a month? Yeah.
Yeah, just to recap, George started off with the first slide talking about predictable outcome. So this is the predictable outcome. You have the numbers, you have the predictable outcome.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, of course, definitely if we want to earn more than 200,000 a year or $500,000 a year, this is where we can work backward in terms of the calculation.
Correct, just have more appointments,
have
more conversations. So the idea is, I think 10,000 is not bad. The 10,000 is not bad because let's say generally today if you ask yourself every day how much do you need? Now, if I have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and my expenses is $50 a day, is it too much? $50 a day, too little. My breakfast will be $15. My dinner maybe $20. Okay, maybe
I
50.
just read a study by the government on the cost of living in Klang Valley is about 5,000 per month.
5,000 average lah.
Average.
Which means 10,000 is double the average already.
Yeah.
Which means you'll be very if you drive maybe a Myvi, not a Merc lah. So it's a simpler car one. The expense 5,000 I think is sufficient. If you don't have a lot of commitments, we're not talking about you paying your housing loans or your car loan, but generally 5,000, 10,000 I think is very comfortable. You maybe cannot travel in Europe, but you can travel within Asia.
But we definitely want to challenge our agents to set a higher goal.
Yeah,
correct.
Set a higher goals, like have a higher standard and higher achievements.
And very simple. If you're not happy with 10,000 a month, if you want to do 20,000 a month, just double your numbers.
Up, yeah.
Just double your numbers.
Yeah, so the key really is to realize that in 2024, did you achieve 200,000 or not? Did you achieve 200,000? The key is that a lot of us want to go in and do more, but we must question actually what is our result? Our goal versus our actual. This is actually what I'm doing, and then I can share basically if you join the session tomorrow we have another class. Basically how to go in and look at lead generation, lead conversion to a predictable income.
So this is the preview for the
correct, and then I'll go in and share with you basically my performance for the last 6 months and how each month the result comes in. And how I've tracked that to actually do that. So these are actually my results, but I'm not showing you basically the KPI and how I measure every week to do that. The other one to look at is, let's say if you're on track to do that one, you can take the one and go further. For example, leads, basically who to call, how to call. If you call the people and you on a daily basis manage to call your contacts daily to get appointments, weekly appointments held, agreed and signed, monthly listings pending and listing closed. In this case the listings to reach basically a $1 million one, you will need to close to about 8 to 10 deals every month. If you do that one, within 1 year, you can actually have a team that is doing 100 deals, achieving $1 million. And today we have a team in our company that is doing close about 80 to 100 deals and achieving basically earning about $1 million. And then the 5-year time, if they do it consistently, they can eventually have a team, we call it a 4th level team, they can net $1 million. That one, your GCI will need to be about 2.5 million. If you consider doing that one someday, you'll be financially free, debt free, and then live the life that you want. So you start with basically 200,000, but then one you can build it up to eventually leverage on teams. One person cannot do 200 deals a year. It's almost impossible. If you do that one, it's going to be a miracle, and then you probably will have health issues. But if you have a team and leveraging on them, doing 100 deals and achieving 1 million net is possible. When I say net, it means you're receiving $1 million. Earn means you're earning only, but it's not the amount that you're getting.
By the way, our $1 million real estate agent,
Yeah.
Elaine Cow, transacted 110 transactions last year.
On the personal sales. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's actually,
so
that's
again, it's
definitely possible.
Correct. So you need about 100 deals in order to go in and do $1 million. So imagine even if you are doing 36 deals, that's almost 3 deals a month already. 48 deals, 50 deals means almost every week you're closing deals. So 100 deals means every week you're closing, so it's challenging.
Yeah. So like there's let's pause here a little bit. Like both of you are coaches, right? Like you coach rookie agents or even producing agents in setting their goals and all, right? How often do you see that the agents come in and set a very high goal, right? I want to achieve $1 million this year. And how far-fetched are generally in agents in achieving those goals? Do you see that they are very close in goal settings, or you see that there's actually a big gap?
I have seen agents coming in with very high expectations, setting up very high goals.
Mm.
But I wouldn't discourage them. It is their own personal journey which they want to set. So when they set that kind of goal, eventually they will know how intensive it would be, what kind of workload it would be, what kind of sacrifices or commitment is required of them. Then it's all part of the journey. But what I like about is something that I learned from Gary Keller. He says that we most of the time overestimated what we can achieve in 1 year.
Overestimate what we can achieve in 1 year.
We think that we can Superman, we can achieve a lot or everything in 1 year, become a billionaire overnight in 1 year, right? But he says we underestimate what we can achieve over 5 years. Because you're given more time to do it, right? And given more time to build your structure, up your skills, build your market, and you have more time to achieve your $1 million.
And again, based on this chart, you notice this one is a 5-year plan, 3 to 5 year plan.
Yeah.
It's not a 1 year plan.
Yeah, and he says you can achieve anything over 5 years.
Yeah, I think it's important to at least put what is our 5 years goal and then work backward.
Correct. So far, basically, for the last maybe 30 minutes, so all we've been talking about is clarity on your goals. What you want to achieve, basically, looking from a tombstone all the way back and defining basically what is your 1 year goal, and then looking basically what are things that you need to do. So having the first step of clarity on where you want to go, now we look at the second step, basically is how do you produce a GPS to go in and help you achieve the goal.
Okay, good.
So the second step is your GPS. Now GPS, there are 2 types. One is just for the business, the other one is for your life. So if it's your life, your priority is going to be slightly different. First priority could be your business, second could be health, third one could be finances. But if it's going to be business one, then the 3 priorities will be aligned more towards business, which is the direction that we are taking. Now, I want to share this one here. This chart one, you're very familiar also. Basically, the M&A book talks about follow the model, 4 models: economy model, lead generation model, budget model, and organizational model. Now, and then basically there are 4 stages: think, earn, net, and receive. You saw just now basically how in order to achieve $1 million, you must first be able to think $1 million, earn $1 million, net $1 million, and eventually receive and then give $1 million. And the key priorities is to focus on leads, listings, and leverage. And the 3 circle: economic, lead generation, budget, and organization. For economic model, it tells you the destination or goal. So it's very important when you do GPS, actually, you must start with the economic model. What is it that you want to achieve? Know your numbers. So let's say I'm starting by saying that today I want to achieve 200,000. And what will be my numbers to achieve 200,000 is to go in and close 25 deals. Do I know my appointments? How many appointments do I need? And what are my conversion ratio? 3 things for economic model. And then basically once I know the goal, I look at the lead generation model and say, basically, how do I go in and have enough context to be able to go in, to be able to set the appointments that I need? How big a database do I actually need? So from there on, I have, of course, the budget is important, that you need to know basically how much you're earning and how much you're spending. So I put in, for example, if I'm actually earning 200,000 and 60% profit on my budget side, that means basically, 60% profit, that means I only spend 40%, I'll make 120,000. Okay, so that again is a simple budget model. Now here one is a chart that is a bit small, but it's created basically by in Keller Williams. They track basically the size of the contact in a database and the performance. And basically, for example, the people that don't close any deal 1-0 is about 33,000 agents. So the agents that is not performing. There are also agents for the 4,000 that's doing about 10 deals. And then the average is that for agent that's doing about 119 or about 100,000, they need to have at least 200 to 1,000 contacts in a database. Minimum is 201. That's why it's called a 201 club. You have 200 people in a database, you can actually go in and achieve at least 100,000. And you see that after that, the numbers drop a little bit. When you go in, for those that do above 351, the numbers are smaller. But actually today one, I'm encouraging all you to do at least 100,000 and above. By doing that one, you need to have at least 200 people in your database. So we know the database size that we need, and then we also know basically the goals that we have. Now we go into the GPS. This one is a calculator that we have one. If you have one, talk to the market center, they can send you this. But I've gone into dialogue with you a little bit more already. For example, here saying the net profit is going to be 120,000, 60%. My expenses and my cost of sale is going to be 80,000. So total one, I need to produce 200,000 in order to have a profit of 120,000. So my point here is that 100,000 as a goal is very, very small. 200,000 is about right because I can hit about, so if you're 100,000, you are just an average performer earning maybe close about $6,000.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, so
I think 200,000 is kind of the minimum.
Yeah, so if you hit 200,000 to go from 200, 300,000, it's not difficult. It's maybe one extra deal or a little bit deal with higher margin. So I look at basically also average sale of a deal with 800,000. Only 1% is 8,000 average. Some of you might be co-agency, some with higher deals, but averagely the deal is 8,000. Meaning that if you follow that one, you need to have 25 closing per year. And then basically every month is 2 and then weekly is 1. Your listings taken is that you need 83. Listings appointment you need 167. And then total contacts you need 667. And then total list is 2,667. And you see the conversion ratio there. I look at contacts as people in my database. I already know my Met database. So I have about 660 in that area. And if I follow up with them, I think basically I can get about 25 closing from there. If I don't have any database, then you start with leads, which is basically a lower ratio, you need a higher number.
Yeah.
And then the magic number is on the weekly side one, the yellow color, 14,321, or the bottom one basically is 56,321. That's why 50,321 comes from here. The number comes in basically if I do 56, 14,321, or 56 is the leads, 321, I'll be able to do 25 deals. This is called basically my goals are very set very clearly. I know exactly the parameters.
Yeah, just to make sure that everyone is following, right? The 5321 you're referring to.
That means the leads should be 50.
Yeah.
Yes, because people I don't know, I call. And
yeah,
then
if you look at your
your
weekly third column, right? So
Yeah.
56 total leads. And then talking about 3 appointments, 2 listing and 1
One
closing.
closing every week.
So your formula of 5321s come from the actual exercise that you actually done.
Yes, in order for me to hit
Yeah.
100,000.
Okay, all right. So this is where you found that, hey, this is where the sweet spot.
Correct. So,
Yes.
so by the knowing my year goal, I bring it out to the things I need to do today.
Yeah. If you look at the 1 year, 2,000 over leads, it can be very overwhelming, right? Yeah, but when we look at it, 50 per week,
10 a day.
something about 10 a day is very much doable and achievable. When we're talking about leads, right? This
Correct.
is not the actual context that we
Not yet. But if
Yeah.
you don't have, you start with 50.
Yeah.
And the goal is to build enough contacts that if you have 200, then from there, if you follow up with them in a year's time, you have result. But you need to have a plan to follow up with them.
Okay, good, got it.
So again, you notice that the breakdown is not only yearly, but also monthly and weekly.
Weekly,
Yeah.
And so again, success is done on daily
basis. So what is our daily activities, daily number? So that is the key is 10 contacts, 10 conversations daily. Is it
Correct.
new conversations or can it be?
No, that one you need to decide
revisiting
because
our
end of
conversation?
day one, the goal, the focus really is closing 25 deals.
Hmm.
And if you have people that you talk to, you need to, like for example, today, the last 3 months one, when I look at my conversion one, initially was 3 appointments basically to 1 closing every weekend. I realized that for the last 3 weekends, no closing. So I just followed the track. So basically, in order to close that month, I need 10 appointments that weekend to close 1. So it's a 10 to 1. So the conversion ratio really depends on yourself, your skill set, whether you're practicing a script, you know what to say, you know how to negotiate, you know how to close. So getting the appointment is the starting point. Closing is another skill set.
Yeah.
But if there's no closing, you know where your problem is. You need to attend in night class and get training.
Yeah, I think it's important. There are many elements towards closing. So, but the first thing first is always ensuring that we are very clear of our goal. And then second is that we also perfecting some of the skill set that we need to.
Yeah, correct. And then it's Jay Papasan basically from the one that wrote the book, One Thing, and also the MREA one. He mentioned this one. people don't define success in a way that can be held accountable. That's why basically in terms of GPS, they fail because they have a big number. I want to do 200,000, but they have nothing to hold themselves accountable. So this one here, I can get William, say, William, can you basically on a weekly basis, I'll give you a report card and tell you where I do my 50 calls. I get 3 appointments. I get 2, the 2 listings. Did I have any closing? Definitely cannot close every week, but my goal is really 2 a month.
Yeah.
So now William can hold me accountable for what I want to do, rather than basically feeling pressured. If I call William one, he's going to pressure me to do more. William is saying, no, this is what you want to do. I'm just helping you.
Yeah, this is where we talk about the productivity coach coming into the picture. I think it's so important that a lot of us try to do things by ourselves, but it's that we never know that how important to have a coach that hold us accountable and just asking us one very important questions. What have you promised to do last week, and how is the result like this week?
Yeah, because once you have the result, then you can measure the success and then make change accordingly. And then so we talk about the goal setting really. Secondly, basically, what's the goal? We talk about the 3 priorities. And here is the 3 priorities that I have for myself in order to achieve the goal for the last 6 months. I basically say that in order to reach the goal, the first priority is lead generation. Because if there's no leads for listings and buyers, nothing to follow up. So once I have enough listings, then the key is how to follow them up. And then the third one is how to go in and promote my listings and start marketing my listings. So if you're at a different level, then your priorities could be different. So based on the first one, for example, you look at it, what is my strategy to go in and achieve lead generation? So the first strategy is basically I will lead gen 90 minutes every day, Monday to Friday. So 9:30 to 11, I'm done. And then my goal is to set 3 appointments in a week. And the people I call is basically first the people in my database. To do that already. Correct. Yeah. I will also follow up with people basically that I met this weekend because potentially they can actually close. And the third one is that I also have a goal that I want to build 300 contacts in my database as the first strategy. Because once you have contact, I can call those people to set the appointments.
And I find that your strategies are all linked up to your priorities.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
So again, second one is most people say, I don't know where to farm. So it's important that you choose a targeted farming area. My area is Subang Jaya. So I know the closing in that area. I know basically what is happening. I know listings available. I know go in and match the buyers and the seller. Now, and the goal is for me to be a local expert. So if you're not a local expert, you don't know what is happening. Yeah. So you need to go in and preview houses to know what is happening. So if you're a local expert, then you're able to go in and match the property for your buyers. And the third strategy is basically I want to also realize that dedicate 30 minutes daily training, role play, scripts, listing presentation, objection handling. What are the objections that my clients gave me in the last few weeks? Put the objection and come with answers. And then go in and practice and role play to do that. Now, I don't do that a lot today because I'm convinced for every appointment I go on, I can get a listing. It's whether I want or don't want. But for you, if you are struggling to go in and get the one, then basically you need to learn. So that's why I put my conversion ratio is 50%. In the MRE book one, for people like expert doing $1 million, their conversion they put out is 70%.
Wow.
So we're not talking about your failure rate. We're talking about your ability to go in and convert. How confident are today you step in and talk to the owner, you can get the listings. Not I go 4 or cannot get. That's rejection rate.
Yeah.
Conversion is your success ratio, your confidence level. Fourth strategy is weekly posting and refresh portal and spotlight to promote few attractive listings. Not everything, but few that can get buyers for me. And the last one is social media posting in Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or whatever is required, or video posting or home tours. Whatever I need to make sure I get enough leads, buyer and seller to come in. So these are my 5 strategies I do on a weekly basis.
By the way, your TikTok wrong spelling.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
I like your strategy number 3 because especially rookies, they tend to skip this. These are actually very important for rookies when they are new in the business. You need to practice more, you need to learn more, you need to rehearse more, do more role plays before you go and see your clients. Right? If you don't practice before you go and see your clients, what will happen? You're practicing on your client.
Correct. Yeah.
And that is not a very good, not very professional and that kind of approach. So you need to set aside the time to practice and improve.
Yeah, don't practice on your clients. Good reminder. That is real play, not role play. Yeah.
You'll be painful if you lose the deal.
Yeah.
Now that we have just finished basically your GPS. Basically the 1 goal, 3 priorities, and then 5 strategies. Now, any question at this point in time that you have?
I believe it's very clear. I just want to do a recap. I think number one, first thing very important is like to work backward, know our 5 years goal. Then after that, break it down look backward to see our 1 year goal. From the 1 year goal, go to our monthly, weekly, and daily.
That means what I'm doing today.
It's just so important that I think if we don't have that clarity set up, it's going to be very challenging for us to move forward.
Correct. And also because I define success as being appropriate at the moment.
Yeah.
This weekend I didn't do anything because I was basically attending a friend's wedding and taking care of a friend. I know they're coming, so I did a lot more work 2 weeks ago. Because rather than being stressed out, there's no appointments. If someone calls me, I'm just not available, I've got other appointments.
Yeah.
So your life basically is more balanced.
Yeah.
You're not stressed out.
Well, that's a very good point because in anticipation, some people say, when I do this with them, the GPS, then put on translate them into a calendar. They have looked at the calendar and then they say, boss, no life. Everything is work. So of course, then I reverse the whole thing. Okay, put out the whole year calendar, plot out when you want to go for your holidays.
You time block those break
Yeah,
time that you need. Yeah.
You can do that, you can time block that. And when you know your numbers, you know the next week you'll be going on holidays, hit your numbers way before you go for your holidays. Like what he did. You upload it, you front load it before he goes for his holidays, so that his numbers will be consistent. And that will give you the predictable outcome.
Okay, that's good. Like any more things that you want to cover and talk about? Like now we know our 5 years goal, our 1 year goal, and what is needed. And we also touch about the 80-20 Pareto principles. What are the top 20% of the activities that will bring 80% of the results for us? Yeah, that is where we have the clarity. Now, if we dive deeper, then we talk about the 411.
Yes.
What is 411?
Okay, just on the time blocking that William just mentioned, most of the time we time block, and time blocking is not putting all your activities on the calendar. It's time blocking only your priorities and blocking time with yourself so that you do those things. When I put lead generation from 9 to 11, it hasn't happened yet, but I'm time blocking my time to be able to do that. So once I block the time, the second thing is that most of us don't follow up with the time block. I block 9 to 11, 9 to 11, but during the time I'm still having my breakfast and day time with a friend. So we tend to go in and time block, but we don't follow through. So it's important because that one actually is the fourth step. Clarity, GPS, 411. After that, basically, it's time blocking into the calendar, those priorities so that you can follow through.
All right.
So now going back with that one, we are going back to the 411. Let me share an example of my 411. That most people don't use 411 because they, let me see, I think this is the one, okay. Because generally we tend to make it very convenient, do one time, after that forget it. So I'm encouraging you not to do that. This is the correct one.
Yeah, this is the correct one.
This is going to the top again. Let me just go back down. This one is a bit smaller. Let me just make it bigger. Now this is a 411. Basically is a 4 weeks, 1 month, 1 year. So if you don't have your GPS 135, you cannot do your 411. 411 basically just taking whatever you have done in the 135 or GPS, putting down basically into your 411, and all these are one pager. You gotta believe in putting everything in one page. If it's a one page one, then you cannot get everyone to agree on it. The first top one basically is your one goal. So the one you summarize in this case one, I have my one goal as 200,000. Profit is going to be 120,000, 60%. My closing is 25. My listings is 83. My appointments is 167. My database is basically 300. So this one is taking from a GPS and then plugging in here. But you notice here on my 401, I have professional and personal. So I want to put that because I think most of the time we focus on business, but we don't realize that actually there's also another element that's important,
which is on a higher level.
So the personal part I put down again is it can be anything, whether you go in and keep yourself healthy. So my goal is for the last basically 10 years, I've been trying to lose 10 pounds because you lose and you put on, you lose and you put on. So the question is to be more determined for the next 6 months. That's all what I want to do. It's basically losing. So personal growth could be reading 12 books. Right now I'm reading a book that's called basically The Obstacle is the Way. And another one basically is called The Ego is Your Enemy by Ryan Holiday. I felt the two books are very short, but are very insightful. Spend time with family, again, is to look at planning family vacations, eating out together, relationships, and then financial freedom. Reducing my commitment and start selling some of my assets so that I go in and basically be less committed. So indirectly, when you do your GPS or your 411, you cannot have just your business. You need to have a bit of your personal also. Because then this one is what I call your big why motivation. Why am I earning enough money so that I can have enough money to plan my family vacation and to be able to eat out wherever I want to? So have a balance there. And then the second one goes in. The second one basically is your 1 month, 1 year, 1 month. The 1 month is basically taking your 1 year divided by 12. Some divide by 12, some divide by 10, some divide by the number of weeks. I can say in this case, so in 1 year, 52 weeks, I only have to work 40 weeks.
Okay.
So really, this one depends on what you want. You're going to take a 1 month holiday and then go somewhere else. Then basically 1 month is 4 weeks. 52, that means you're only working 48. Minus your weekends and holidays, most of us will be doing maybe about less than 45 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm using, in this case, you divide by 12. Then you have your GCI, your monthly target, your closing, your listings, appointments are all there. So it goes down to the now that basically I need to, you can see the 3, 2, 1 coming back again. 3, 2, 1 is 3 appointments, 2 listings, and 1 closing. And then I put down there, I need to have 30 new contacts per month, 8 per week. And from there, once you have these 2 that don't change so much, then you look at your number 4, 411 now, 1 year, 1 month, and then 4 weeks. So the 4 weeks one, this is what I do. Week 1. Do not fill up the 4 weeks. It's just saying that this one is week by week. I only know it's happening this week and last week.
Yep.
So the goal is basically based on this week one, you reflect back last week what you did, and then this week what you do, and then you can plan for the following week. This is what I want to do next week. So next week I want to make sure that I get one is lead generation for 1 hour daily, 25 calls per week. I also want to lead generate for about 30 minutes and basically follow up with 25 calls. So I divide basically my lead generation to be new contacts and also to follow up. 3 appointments weekly, 2 listings, 1 closing. That's my weekly goal. Add 8 new contacts weekly, which means I'll add 2 every day into my database. But if your contacts is enough, then you might not need to do a lot here. But you need to go in and realize that at the end of day one, people in the database one, you need to delete them and then add new ones. So there must be constant prospecting and adding new people in. But you can actually lower it. Update the opportunity pipeline daily because that allows me to know priority of those that want to close 30, 60, 90 days. And the last one is to look at my social media. So on a weekly basis, I will say that this is what I do. Then I will talk to Nicholas. The next one basically, please hold me accountable. Then you meet with Josh, this one here, what did you do? Yeah. What was the result? I did not, I make instead of 25 calls, I make 10 calls. So okay, what about the people follow up with that one, I managed to close 1 deal. Yeah, again, it's 1 point. So here one is telling me what I'm accountable for this week. Then from there one, I can decide in this case one to plan for the following week.
Did you tell your coach 1 week in advance that this is what I'm going to do?
Correct. In fact, when you see your coach, you must always show them your GPS and your 411 together. So that the coach knows exactly what you are committing to.
Yeah.
So today we see our coach, we tell the coach too busy, but we don't have anything written down that hold us accountable.
Yeah. Sometimes we're just too busy, especially year end. We have too many holiday plans and all. I think it's really important to sit down and see how far are we closing the gap of the goal that we actually have set.
Yeah. So I'm going to switch off here because this slide is talking about the fact when you set your 411, these are the 8 job description for an agent. That means your activities basically needs to be the 20%. You must be doing these 16. Lead generate, presenting the buyer and seller, showing buyer and seller, writing contracts, closing, and then eventually manage your funds. Anything outside of these are not important for an agent. Yeah. But if you're not doing these 6 things in your daily 411, then to me, you're off track already.
Yeah, and these are the 6 things that we will be actually covering the next 6 weeks, right?
Fantastic.
In getting ready for 2025, right? I think thanks George for bringing this up. This is just so important for us to really master these 6 elements, right? Apart from the GPS. Yeah. Right, it's good. That's only the
for a slide that I've done already.
Right, it's good. So we will do a quick announcements slide first. We'll get our team to bring in the announcement. Then later we will have William George to share your view, the add-on view for those who we see whether there are any more questions from the chat. All right, so the first announcement that we have is the $1 Million Realtor talk will resume next week on the 12th of November, Tuesday, 2 to 3:30 p.m. at KW Malaysia office. If you have friends and families or any real estate agents who are yet to be part of our network and they're interested to find out more how they can be going into this real estate business and also looking for a new breakthrough in terms of the real estate business, feel free to invite them to this talk 12 November 2 p.m. Yep, next. Database bootcamp. No, we talk about setting goal. Next week, we're going to talk about lead generations, and it's also important. So how do we maximize? Josh talked about like he only need 300 in his database, right? How do we even fine tune this 300 with the context? And always say that our phone has is goal, and we have been sitting on the goal for many years, and we have not harnessed the opportunities. So this is a camp that you can come in, and then we will actually train you how you can maximize the potential of your database just within one day. It will happen on the 20th of November, 9 to 5 p.m. at Bukit Kiara Equestrian and Country Resorts. For those of PA and REA, this will earn you 5 CPD hours. Yeah, feel free to scan the QR code and register from there. Next. All right, so Ignite 2025. Now we are launching this new series of Ignite that will be on the 17th to 21st of February. William, you want to share a little bit more about Ignite 2025?
Well, this Ignite is a new version now. We're trying to Ignite has 20 lessons, 20 sessions, and we used to have it over 20 days.
Yeah.
So now we have consolidated into 5 days.
5 days now.
5 full days. So that you can finish all in 5 days with all the experienced trainers.
Yeah, so I will also look forward to this, right? So we just started with like 20 days now. We compress it into 5 days, and I believe there's lots more intensive learning going to happen in the 5 days. Now, for those of you who are interested to join this, do we have a link that they could sign up? Maybe you see the next slide. Oh, all right. So there's no link that they can basically.
Yeah, there's a link.
There's a link.
Link in the chat.
Yeah, the link in the chat. Okay, all right. So for those who are interested, and also for those agents who are not the KW Malaysian agents yet, if you're interested, the opportunity is also open to you. So do reach out to us on how you can be part of this training. Next. So next week we're gonna have we need to talk about the lead generations and capturing your leads, and together with me and Williams on this Winning Mondays call. All right. Thank you. That's announcement. That's all for this week. All right. Now come back to our panel speakers and co-hosts. So what's your view now, or any last word on how GPS can really impact an agent, and why it's so important for anyone to basically do this?
Well, Keller Williams did a study from the book, NREA book, and found that there are 125 tasks for agents, for real estate agents. 125
tasks for real estate agents.
Yeah, 125 things to do. So the question is, what do you need? Can you do all of that? Right? First thing. Secondly, what do you want to do first? Right? So when it comes to planning, a lot of agents will be lost. So this GPS one-page plan is a very good productivity tool that can help you plan for your 2025.
Thanks, William. So, George, any last word?
No, I think for me, don't take 2024-25 too lightly. Take a day off, reflect basically on really what you want to do, but also right now basically what you have achieved in 2024. Because many times we don't realize actually our behaviors basically we are going through in 2024 actually don't align with our goals. So there might be some things that we need to change, or someone must tell us that we need to change our behavior. Start building the right habits so that basically we are aligned to basically what we're going to achieve in 2025. So for example, in my one, I know that basically in 1st January, I must be basically making 50 conversations, 3 appointments, 2 listings and 1 closing. So I'm not waiting till January to do that. I'm starting now. By building on a habit, so that I start basically starting with to be 30 minutes of lead generation, then building up 45 to 60, and then 60 getting it consistent. Instead of 5 days, one you can say, I want to do consistently 2 or 3 days. So break it down to something small that you can actually do first, and then start adding it up. Because you say that it takes 66 days to build a habit. So encourage you to build the right habit that can help you hit the first domino, do it well and consistently, self-mastery. Success is actually sequential, not simultaneous. And doing the right thing is important. And then success basically is over time. Do the same thing over time. Don't overcomplicate it. Basically, you must identify what you need to do. Second is that you must do it consistently, and then you must go in and basically repeat it until you get very good at it. So I call it self-mastery. Like for example, today I make 10 calls. I don't have any appointments. Then must start questioning, how can I make 10 calls and start getting more appointments? What do I need to learn to grow? So I pick up that one skill. Once I pick up the skill, then I move on to the next domino. So identify the first one, get self-mastery, and then begin to look at the second or the third one. Don't try to jump. Identify.
And also don't overcomplicate it. I think it can be as simple as just starting right now. I like what George just mentioned. Take a day off. Take a day, take a break to really sit down and think through and work backward. What do I want for my life for the next 5 years? So have that written down. I think written goal is so important. Like we have a lot of study to say that if anyone who actually have who write down the goals compared to those who didn't, actually that achieve 10 times more of the possibility of achieving it for those who didn't. So I want to encourage everyone to take a day off, all right? Write it down, the goal for the 5 years, and then follow the process that we have shared with you. And if any one of you really want to have more conversation with Josh, you have a session tomorrow.
Yeah, basically we have a power
session?
hour one from 10 to 10:45, where basically it's like group sessions where we go in and talk about listings and leads. And then from 10:45 to 12, we'll basically have about an hour to talk about lead generation and the lead conversion.
Yeah, for those of you who want to dive deeper with Josh, feel free to come tomorrow. Tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow there'll be a session there.
Tomorrow there'll be a sessions. And for those of you looking for a coach, that you want someone to really guide you through and hold you accountable, like we have a productivity coach. You want to share a little bit about your coaching program right before we close today, for those who are interested to be part of this coaching?
Well, you have a glimpse of just now what is coaching all about. Is of course to hold you accountable and helping you and guiding you through to achieve your goals. But of course, it all starts with your GPS in the 411. You got to have your goal. You got to know your big why before you dive into your goals and your GPS. Because the big why is the one that should be the reason and the drive that wants you to go into this business and do this on a daily basis, to do this every day, right? So that's the motivation behind. The coaching will help you to be more focused, keeping to your plans, executing your plans, and of course help you to see your blind side. Yeah. So we all have blind sides, and so therefore we need another perspective to help us to go and see where we gone wrong, if we have been diverted or distracted and lost our focus.
Yeah. If you have not had a coach before, I want to strongly encourage you, for those who are listening on Zoom or on the Facebook Live, get a coach. Get a coach that you can trust and have a conversation with both George and also William, how you can be a part of this network and how you can be coached to have a greater success for 2025. With that, thank you so much. Thank you, George, for joining us this morning, and thank you, William, for co-hosting this with me. And we want to wish you all the best. And for this week, we wish you a greater success. All right, thank you. God bless all of you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good.
Oh.